Morning, brother.
Morning. Welcome back to the
early show.
The Aub and Gump morning show. The morning show with Aub and Gump.
Boy.
That rolls off better.
Yeah. Well, it's a pretty good excuse to wake up at 6 in the morning anyway.
Yeah. 6:20 in the morning. We're recording a podcast.
Yeah. Well, brother, what's new?
Well, I was trying to think when the last podcast we recorded. Was that with Dylan?
Yeah, it was when we got really drunk with Dylan and just started talking about conspiracy theories and shit.
Is that what we started talking about? I don't know.
Well, that for a while, and then I started reading the Gettysburg Address. And then we watched Gangster Party Line, but we were fucking around for like 50 minutes trying to get the TV to work. It wasn't exactly the greatest show on earth, but by God, we had fun.
That's right. It wasn't that quality content, but got to have fun every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. It was a good time.
Care for some coffee?
I would love a cup. Pour me up here, brother. Cheers.
Ooh.
This is generic creamer in the coffee. This is not a alcoholic substitute of any kind.
Just saying.
It's just
forewarning.
Just in case I get nailed for driving 2 hours later for having one single coffee.
Being a bad little boy.
I'm bad to the bone. Bad. Yeah. So last night, I encountered something on Wikipedia.
Okay.
And it is a valid economic index. It is called the Men's Underwear Index.
The Men's Underwear Index.
Yes.
Okay.
How it works is basically there's an assumption that men will buy underwear at a pretty much steady rate, regardless of like, you know, other things going on in their life. As long as they have disposable income, men will buy underwear at the exact same rate.
Right.
So whenever underwear sales dip, that's when you know that an economic crisis is bound to happen, because that means men or their spouses who buy them underwear, of course.
Right.
Don't have disposable income enough to buy underwear.
Huh.
So it's an actual economic index to try and predict like what's going on in the economy.
Interesting. So it's the sales of men's underwear is so steady that when it dips, shit's gonna hit the fan.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Exactly. Like that's how you can tell is you can make predictions off of just underwear sales. You can probably make predictions off of beer sales in Alberta as well.
Probably something consistent. Like underwear sales definitely would be across the board. Like not all men drink, but all men wear underwear.
Exactly. Every household requires it. Anyway,
that's right.
Unless you're in a nudist colony.
Be a little more consistent because I'd say there's alcoholics out there that would sacrifice good underwear for a box of beer. You know what I mean?
That's true. I know him. His name's Josh. Love you, Josh.
That's true. That guy does have some ratty ginch.
Yeah, ginch, gonch. I'm with him though personally. Like him and me, we're kind of soul animals because we don't buy clothing.
That's true.
It's like, why would I buy more clothing when this shirt works perfectly fine, even though it's completely, you know, it's been washed 5 million times. There's like holes in all the spots.
I was that way, but I grew out of all my clothes. Like you guys still wear clothes from
right.
10 years ago. I can't.
Yeah, all your clothes you grew out in the shoulders, so now they don't fit into any of that shit.
Nothing fits.
Whereas I have like a shitload of t-shirts that I got while I was in like grade 11, and they all still fit. Yeah. So like I haven't grown into my gut yet.
Currently growing into your gut.
I'm working on it. So I almost wound up working on an oil rig for the winter.
Thank God. On a drilling crew?
Yeah, I was gonna be rig bitch. Oh, sorry, lease hand.
Lease hand. Well,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't actually be actually drilling, would you?
No. I wouldn't be doing any of the drilling, but I would be doing all the shitty jobs.
Yeah.
You know, painting and cleaning and doing laundry, and the money would have been good. But then, as I was considering it, and I put in my application in this one company, and I was considering it and thinking, and then one day we got that really wicked wind. That was like, I don't know, it was -10 with a fucking 80-kilometer-hour wind, and then Edmonton got completely snowed in.
Yeah.
And I thought, as fun as that would be, that is not going to be worth the money.
No. Fuck that.
It's not going to be worth the money at all.
Plus, you'll sacrifice Brothers Radio.
Plus, how am I going to record a podcast when my face is frozen shut?
That's right, when you're dead in the north.
When I'm fucking frozen and buried in the muskeg.
That's right.
So I thought, the money would be pretty good, but not for that. If it was the summertime, sure, yeah.
They don't really drill in the summer, though. It seems like.
That's true, yeah.
Always that winter. It's a winter gig.
I don't know why.
Well,
Are they intentionally trying to make
it's
people...
so that muskeg freezes up.
Oh,
the North
yeah,
Country
yeah.
freezes up.
Yeah, you can't drill if it's all
easier to
fucking
get
mud.
around. Yeah.
Well, you'd think, it being... Well, maybe it's only dry in this part of Alberta. Maybe it's still quite moist up there.
No, I'm sure it's frozen. Yeah, I'm sure
Well, now it
it's
is. Now it is. But no, like during the summer, how dry it was here.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if it didn't get that dry up that way.
Yeah, it might have. There's parts of that northern Alberta that's just always wet. It's just swamp up there.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's trees, but it is trees, but there's nothing underneath those trees.
Yeah. It's just a floating mass of vegetation on basically a lake.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's interesting. It's desolate up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, northern BC is a lot like that, too. Like, just a lot of scraggly fucking trees everywhere. Everything's muck.
Yeah.
I turned down that job.
It ain't my picture of fun.
No, so I said, it's okay. I got a job here in town. So.
Yeah, thank God he called back.
Yeah.
Got back.
Because I might end up working there.
What am I gonna do without you, Gump? I need you here.
You'll be all right.
I ain't gonna edit these videos.
That's true, but it takes me not that long anymore. I'm pretty good at this. Like I'm pretty efficient. I can do it in no time at all.
Yeah, you can probably get it to Spotify in like 10 minutes, can't you, or less?
Pretty much. It just depends on how quick the internet is.
Nice.
Yeah. So, what else is going on here? Oh, you bought a new pickup.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is new. Yeah, bought a new, new to me, 2017 Ford F-150. Nice little pickup.
Yeah. It's for your, I believe you're going to go into business sucking cock, right?
Yes.
So that's why you bought a Ford.
Yes. That's not true, Gil.
It's just a joke.
Fords are good trucks.
I'm sure, but the leading joke is that guys who drive Fords like to fondle balls and massage poles
With their mouths.
with their mouth. So I was just wondering if perhaps my brother was into that now.
I'm here to tell you that is... Well, I'm not saying it's false.
Is there any money in it?
No.
Well, then forget it.
Yeah. There's no money in sucking dick these days. Fuck you, Trudeau.
the dick sucking market there's such a glut.
Yeah.
There's such an overproduction of dick suckers.
Yeah. There's just way too many dick suckers in the market. It's flooding the market.
It's flooded.
Flooded with semen.
Let the semen flow. The semen must flow.
Yeah, we went for a little cruise there the night I got it. And
Yeah, went and got some ice cream.
Yep.
Got some Cherry Garcia ice cream. Shit was tight.
with the little LSD tabs in it.
Yeah, see, there's these little chocolate things in there, little slices of chocolate that are like super thin. I'm like, oh, it's got to be like LSD tabs that they're trying to pretend that's what this is, because it's Jerry Garcia. The guy was fucking zoinked out of his gourd for I don't know how many years straight, but quite a few.
Yeah.
Probably the entire time they were on tour.
The influential ones.
Yeah. Exactly. So this thing is just full of these little chocolate wafers. I'm like, oh, these are LSD. And Kaylin laughed, and both of you laughed. I don't think you understood, though.
I understood.
At the time. I had to explain it later.
Well, I knew what you meant.
Okay.
When you said they look like LSD tabs, I was like, oh, I'm sure Jerry Garcia was on LSD.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you know that one Grateful Dead album I have? It's called Anthem of the Sun.
Yeah.
You ever look at the album art on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
What more do you need?
Yeah.
It's like some sort of Aztec/Indian god thing. I don't know. It's so strange.
Yeah.
They're all like, each member of the band is like a dragon.
Yeah.
And they're all part of this like big circle that's on fire. Oh, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's an intense album cover. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. And then what's really awesome, you flip it over and then you read what songs are on there, and there's one just called New Potato Caboose. What the fuck is that?
That's a song name?
It's a song on there, New Potato Caboose.
And what's the album name? Maybe people want to search it up and check it out.
Anthem of the Sun.
Anthem of the Sun, Grateful Dead.
If you like music that just never seems to end, the Grateful Dead.
Doesn't Sirius have an entire station dedicated to Grateful Dead? I think they just call it
probably.
I think it's just the Grateful Dead station.
Or the Deadhead Hour or some shit like that.
No, like it's just the entire Sirius station is Grateful Dead.
That's sweet.
Or the name of it has Grateful Dead in it. Something like that.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, like, they have so much live recorded music.
Yeah.
And each time they played a song, it was always different.
Yeah.
Because they're what they call a jam band, right? So they'll play a song that usually is like 5 minutes long. They'll play it for fucking 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
They'll play it for a whole set. And but it will be different because they'll each guy will solo, you know, and you know they'll all take turns on it, and then finally wrap it up after 25 minutes, and then play another song for another 25 minutes. So each time they played a concert, it was always different. And they played, I don't know how many goddamn concerts, but they toured almost religiously for like 20 years straight.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of music. You go on Spotify, you find so many albums of just live stuff from like all over too. Like, oh, recorded in fucking Denver, recorded in fucking Connecticut, shit like that. Like they recorded concerts everywhere. So
when I think of the Grateful Dead, I don't think of just hard partiers. I just think of music lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just would get on stage, and their highlight of their night was playing on stage, and then after that, they probably wouldn't party much. Go out for a few drinks or something.
Probably partied a little bit. Maybe not as they got older.
Yeah, probably. I'm just saying they ain't no Motley Crue or you know.
No, they don't.
Like they
never tore the walls out of the hotel.
Yeah, like they weren't super hard on themselves.
No,
they just really loved the music.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was always the first priority for them was the music.
And it shows you can't just tour for 20 years and still get along if you don't love the music. Well,
there was always like a rotating, you know, cast of characters in the Grateful Dead. Like I believe. There was probably 20 different musicians who were all in the Grateful Dead at one time, but usually it was like the keyboardists and different like backup singers and that sort of thing. Like there was always like the key guys were of course Jerry Garcia, the front man / guitarist, and the drummer who was what the hell's his name? It's like some German last name. I can't remember. It's like Peter or something. Anyway, he was in it forever. I think he still is.
Yeah.
And those were like the two main guys, but everyone else was subject to change.
Right.
But you know, that was the thing. It was never an ego trip. The band was never an ego trip, such as like Motley Crue or whatever.
Yeah.
It was always just about playing the music.
Yeah.
So
people come and go, but it's all about the different. They encourage that probably, you know, had different tastes, different people.
Exactly, because then the song will have a different flavor to it.
Yeah.
If there's a different bass player or whatever.
Not so much improved the music or made it any worse. It was just different.
Just different. Exactly.
And they can work with different. That's a whole nother 25-minute segment on
Exactly.
stage.
That's another fucking album they can make.
Yeah. just because they had a different bass player or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
You know, and people used to follow them around the United States while they were on tour. People would, like these guys' concerts were, I don't know if they were free or if they were just really, really, really easy to sneak into.
Yeah.
But, you know, these hippies, deadheads, they call them,
Yeah.
would just follow the tour bus around the United States. Sure, I'll have another warm up there. Follow them around the United States and catch like every single concert on that tour.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just hilarious that people would actually do that. Of course, these were hippies, so they didn't have jobs to go to, which is fine.
Find enough for gas money.
It's pretty good for a summer. I mean, you're like, well, I got enough gas money to drive around the United States for a while. I might as well just fucking watch Grateful Dead concerts for 60 days straight. Fuck it.
It seemed like it was so much easier to kind of bum around the country. Like, you could just hit up every city if you wanted to, and I mean, you could find a job for a day.
Yeah, you could wash dishes in a fucking diner if you needed.
Yeah, make a
couple dollaroonies, and then you'd be on your way.
Make a buck or two, and enough for a meal or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was really easy to be a nomad back in the day.
Yeah, it's much harder now.
Yeah, they got shit like LinkedIn and stuff. Maybe it's easier to be a nomad if you know how.
They got yeah.
If you could really be a nomad if, like, just imagine, just picture this podcast takes off.
Yeah.
We're listened to by thousands and thousands of people. This will never happen, but just imagine it'll happen.
Entertain the idea.
Entertain the idea. These people, they worship our every word. Fucking morons. We could buy like a van.
Yeah.
Set that up as a podcast studio and just drive around Canada.
Yeah.
Right? The money's coming in from fucking the heaven, basically.
Yeah, from Jeff Bezos' satellite or some shit.
Fucking, it's beaming in through the fucking world pipe.
That's what I'm saying.
So, like, you could just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You just go wherever you please. There's lots of people who, like, design websites who do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
As long as they got an internet connection, they got a job.
Yeah. That's what we need is, like, a 53-foot Winnebago.
Oh, yeah.
With a Jeep being pulled behind and just head east or west or whatever we want to do. South?
Not north.
No, fuck north. Like I said before, I ain't going north.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go to Red Deer.
I think we're too far north now.
Yeah, to be honest. I keep saying with these, with the weather we've been having, I keep calling Alberta the new banana belt. It's been so nice.
The new banana belt.
Yeah, Monday was like, it hit 15 degrees. Like when we were picking up my pickup in
it was
Claire's
warm.
home,
It was
like
super warm.
14, 15 degrees down there. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Then,
well,
I'm eating my words though. There's a little bit of snow out there today.
it's true. It wasn't exactly pleasant yesterday, but yeah, on the Monday, I believe Linden, Alberta was actually the hottest part of Canada.
Really?
For that day.
Huh.
Yeah, my boss was showing me a picture. He took a screenshot. The hottest part of Canada, Linden, Alberta, 15 point something degrees.
Wow.
And then the coldest part was like some fucking shithole in Northwest Territories that was like minus 35 and a half. I was like, yeah.
So it's coming. That cold is coming.
Oh, yeah, January's going to suck. I'll freeze my dink off.
Yeah, we'll just be hanging out here in the studio, heat cranked,
Coffee hot.
awfully hot coffee pot.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot.
Yep.
I wonder how the mom spaghetti restaurant's doing.
Because we've talked about that.
We talked when he opened that thing. When he opened it, we were talking about it. So I wonder how it's doing.
I'm sure it's doing good.
Let's Google it.
Because is it in Chicago?
Yes, Eminem from Chicago.
No,
you remember how he talks about how he's from Chicago?
No,
all the
where's
time?
he from? I don't fucking know. Detroit?
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever. I'm getting my Mimshkins all mixed up.
Fucking Chicago is a native word, I think, and Detroit is that's French.
I don't fucking know, Gump.
I mean, they're both fucking shithole towns. They're both pretty rough, so I don't blame you. But Oh, here we go. Mom Spaghetti loading up. It's closed right now. Obviously. What the fuck is this website? It's just a picture of Eminem flipping off the camera, but then they put the to-go boxes. They Photoshop the to-go boxes over his middle fingers. What the fuck is this? Grand opening. So here's the prices and everything. So you can get a Mom Spaghetti, $9. With meatballs, $12. With rabbit balls, vegan, $14. They call the vegan option rabbit balls.
That's awesome.
I love that. You can get a sketty sandwich, $11. Pop or water, $3.
Can you get sketty and butter?
Get sketty? I don't know. See, hey, respect to Detroit. They call it pop. That's right.
Yeah.
It's pop. It's not soda.
It's what?
Fucking soda. It's pop. You know why? Because that shit popping.
That's right.
Going, it's popping.
That
It's
should
pop.
be popping in my mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Soda. Is it sodaing in your mouth? No. It's popping. Man, this is pretty sweet. Yeah, it seems like it's still open. Oh, here's a picture from the grand opening. It's just flooded with people.
Got Eminem hanging out, handing out spaghetti.
Pretty
Spaghetti
much.
sandwiches.
I'm surprised the place hasn't been robbed yet.
Oh, I'm sure it has.
It probably has. Then again, maybe Eminem has connections with the local gangs. Maybe he struck a deal for
No, he
protection.
Eminem's a white boy. He has local connections with the cops.
Good point.
He knows better.
Yeah, good point.
He knows better.
So I was reading the other day because I was curious and I get bored and I read about shit that doesn't really matter anymore. But I was reading about the fall of Constantinople.
Okay.
In the year 1453.
Yep.
It's now Istanbul, for those wondering where the fuck that is. The modern-day city of Istanbul, Turkey. It used to be a Greek-speaking city, the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire. It was then conquered by the Ottomans. And how they did it, the Ottomans, how they took the city, which was historically like an untakeable city because it had these massive fucking walls. They used cannons.
And just blew the walls
Blew
to
the
hell?
fuckers to shit. Just blew them down. So then I was reading about where these cannons came from.
That's right, because gunpowder was already invented in China in 1000, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
So I guess man had already been playing around with gunpowder for
even
400 years.
in the 100 Years' War, the English and French were playing around with these what do they call them? Oh, I can't remember the exact name, but essentially it was like a hand cannon that shot an arrow.
Yeah.
And they were playing around with those at like the Battle of Agincourt or
Do we
what was that
have,
other battle?
not to get too sidetracked from your story, but do we have ancient guns? Like that early shit, like 12, 13?
We have some stuff that survived. We don't have very many projectiles because at the time they were essentially crossbow bolts.
Yeah.
So the wood's all melted away.
Right.
It's all rotted. But we do have early, what do they call them? They call them fire pots. What's that in French? I can't remember what the French is for it, but that's what the French called theirs. They call them fire pots.
Right.
And we do have some examples of that in some museums. Now, they weren't like super widespread,
Yeah.
but they were in use. But by the time, like that was in 1250 something, right? So go 200 years later, technology has gotten a little better.
Yeah.
And
Progressed.
the Ottomans, for instance, had one cannon which shot a projectile. It shot a stone that was 1,200 pounds.
How much gunpowder does it take to move that?
Oh, they had entire supply chains just to provide gunpowder.
Wow.
Yeah, they could only fire that one 3 times a day, I think, because it got so fucking hot from just one shot.
Yeah.
It would get so hot, and they'd have to spend the rest of the day like slowly cooling it down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the barrel would crack.
Right.
So
What did they build the barrel out of? Was it
well,
iron?
No, it was some sort of brass alloy.
Right.
It was, but of course, not even close to modern day brass, right?
Right.
In those days, they didn't even understand what brass was. All they knew was if you throw these certain kinds of rocks in, which they didn't know at the time was zinc, you could if you threw it into like a sort of a bronze mixture, it would make for a metal that was really good at expanding with heat.
Right.
Like it was a very like that's what like brass is really good for that. It's really good at expanding with heat and expanding with pressure.
Right.
That's why we make pipes and stuff out of brass,
Right.
fittings and all that. So they didn't really know at the time what they were doing, but all they knew was you throw these rocks in, it works.
Yeah.
So this fella who made the cannon, his name was Orban. He was from Hungary, which at the time was a free kingdom, is a free Christian kingdom. Well, one day this guy's a metallurgist. He makes all kinds of metal out of urgency. And he goes down to Constantinople one day and talks to the emperor and says, hey, building a big fuck-off size cannon, you want to buy it? And the emperor's like, no, we don't need your cannon. We ain't got the money for it. Orban says, all right, bunch of broke-ass bitches down here in Constantinople. So he crosses the sea over into Turkey, into Anatolia, and meets with the Sultan Mehmed II. And he says, hey, you want to buy this big fucking cannon? Of course, Mehmed's like, fuck yeah. Why not? It's a big cannon.
Yeah, I'll take 20.
I'll take one of these and I'll take another one. So they built this fucking cannon. I believe they had to haul it all the way from wherever their capital was at the time, all the way to Constantinople. It took them weeks. But I think it took them several months actually to get it there. And they used a team of oxen. I think it was a 60 head team of oxen to drag this fucking thing all the way to Constantinople. 60 fucking oxen.
Wow.
The thing was so damn heavy. But by God, it blew the fuck out of those old walls.
Turn those walls to shit.
And so I was reading a first-hand account of the siege of Constantinople. This fella, he's a Venetian who was he was a surgeon, and I believe he was in the Navy, the Venetian Navy, which was stationed there. Right. This guy's name was Niccolo Barbaro. Barbaro literally just means like surgeon. Nick the barber. Nick the surgeon. Dr. Nick.
That's a terrible name.
This was Dr. Nick from Simpsons, essentially.
But like, oh, sorry, nicked your artery.
Yeah. So nicked your artery there, you're going to die now. So he's hanging out in Constantinople, and the Ottomans come, and he's basically stuck. It's not like he can really leave.
Yeah.
His ship and his fleet is stuck there in Constantinople, so they're going to stick it out. And he describes the fucking screeching boulders flying out of the walls and shit. And apparently, by his estimation, the Ottomans could have took that city like a whole month earlier than they did. Because the one day they blew a massive hole in it, and if they would have attacked right there at that hole, that day they would have won.
Yeah.
But they chose to lick their wounds and abide their time. But it's very, very interesting just reading about that shit. And this guy, it's so funny too, because he, in his first-hand account, he's like, these accursed pagan Ottomans fucking, because it's a very Christian time.
Yeah.
And so he's just cursing these fucking Ottomans for being uncivilized and whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but I mean, they got a big cannon, though. They recognize that big cannon blow through stupid wall. So how uncivilized can they be? Obviously, they're smarter than you fucking moron.
Yeah. Should have bought big cannon.
Should have listened to Orban. He was selling his cannon to you fucking pricks. He was literally selling it to you. And you denied him. So yeah, that's the story of Orban, the metallurgist.
Yep. That's what happens if you make the wrong decision. It can change history forever.
Mm. Oh, allegedly, some guy also left the front gate open on the last day of battle. Allegedly, some guy just they were pouring in the walls.
Yeah.
And there was battles and skirmishes going on. And allegedly, some guy just flipped the lock. Just flipped it and then ran away. Tried getting on a ship as quick as possible out of the fucking city.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So people liked anarchy even then? People have always liked anarchy.
People love anarchy. Governments are stupid.
Yep.
I think we should have our politicians be just like NASCAR drivers and just have like all the logos of the things they're sponsored by, just like right on their jackets. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like Jason Kenney's sponsored by Wonder Bread or whatever the fuck. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, see who's lobbyists.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like, who's
yeah.
sponsoring who here? Oh, that guy's sponsored by the dairy industry. All right.
Yeah.
And then that way, it's like you never get confused as to where these guys, where their interests lie.
Yeah.
Where they're really coming from.
Interesting. I never thought about that. Yeah, so they're driving around in their nice Ford Lincoln or in their Lincoln Navigator.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
across the window, it just says Fig Newtons or whatever.
Schmuckers.
Yeah, Schmuckers.
I didn't know a jam company was influencing
Yeah.
Albertan
If
politics.
it's anything here in Canada, it's Big Maple. Big Maple Circle.
Probably. Big Serple.
Yeah. Surplus of Serple. There's never a surplus of Serple.
Well, there's always a deficit. That's why they had to invent that fucking Aunt Jemima shit.
Yep. Which is now no longer Aunt Jemima. It's like the Western... No, what's the name?
Oh, they lynched Aunt Jemima?
Yep.
What else is new?
But they renamed
Typical
it.
Americans.
They took off... It's no longer the Black Lady,
I
no
know.
longer Aunt Jemima, and then they call themselves the... I seen it in Costco the other day, but I was like, oh, I got to take note of that. But it's like the Western something company or
Western Conference Final.
I don't know. Search it up. Pull that shit up.
All right.
Because I can't remember exactly what it was.
What
but
are
it's
they
no longer.
calling Aunt Jemima now?
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
The Pearl Milling Company.
The Pearl Milling Company. Yep, that's it.
That's what they call. Well, that sucks.
Yep.
Man, that whole Aunt Jemima, that pisses me off so much.
Well,
Because they're like, we need to get rid of this racist depiction of a black woman. It's like, it's not a racist depiction of a black woman. She's just smiling on the front of the pancake thing. How is it? I don't understand why that's racist.
I'd like to talk to somebody that actually thinks that that's a good idea and understand maybe where we're wrong. But in my mind, when let's say that picture came out in 1940, let's say.
Well, I think the original Aunt Jemima came out a long time ago, and the original picture was the lady who invented that table syrup or something.
Yeah.
But then, of course, they created like a more visually pleasing picture or whatever. But yeah, it's been around a long time.
But to me, like, if you were a company that put a black woman on your product, I mean,
They're taking a risk in that day.
absolutely. Could you quote unquote get any more woke
Yeah.
at the time?
Well, especially in like say 1920s where the
fuck.
Klan was running everything.
Exactly.
Like I'm pretty sure Woodrow Wilson was a Klan member or a former Klan member anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so then they get rid of Aunt Jemima, and it's like, okay, so what's actually going on here? So the woke people are cheering for that. You know who else is cheering? People who are in the Klan.
Yeah.
They're like, yes, finally, I don't have to wake up in the morning and have my wife make pancakes, and I have to sit down at the table and stare at a black lady. Thank God. Like they're probably just as joyous as the woke people about
Yeah.
this whole thing.
Yeah. I don't get it.
So strange.
I'm still a little offended at it.
Makes me mad.
Yeah.
They basically lynched Aunt Jemima.
Pretty much.
They're gonna start lynching real people because they have too racial of a profile.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Be like, oh, JayZ, he looks too black.
Looks too white.
JayZ doesn't look white.
No.
That guy's lips, I mean. He's not a very pretty man, JayZ.
Oh no, he's hideous.
He's hideous, but
He has a lot of money.
yeah, he does. But they're gonna lynch JayZ because he looks too black. It's like that. Those lips that's a racist depiction of a black man. They're just hanging right there.
Like, I am a black man.
What do you mean depiction? I am.
I'm not depicting shit. I simply
Yeah,
am.
you sound like a fascist. Whoop. Fucking string them up right there. Jesus Christ. What have we come to?
Yeah. Yeah, a little pissed about it. The
Angry.
Pearl Milling Company. Suck my balls.
I can fucking merle these pearls. Mill these pearls all they want, fucking pricks.
You can merle these pearls.
Merle these, whatever. Merle Haggard.
Is there any coffee left?
I don't know. We had 2 cups each. I think we're out. Oh, yeah, just take the last splash, why don't you?
Oh, fuck you.
So what else, brother? What'd you do yesterday? Where are you working these days?
Yeah, what was I doing yesterday? Oh, I'm finally done at that one big project.
Ooh.
But yesterday I started...
Over at Merle Clausen's?
yes.
There you go.
Started a new project, digging footings for a new shop. So got going on that, figured out all my elevations and started digging, stripped all my topsoil.
Nice.
Yep. Had soup for lunch.
Ooh.
Kaylin brought soup out.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Soup is good. She made soup last night. That shit was bussin'.
Sure was. It was delicious. It was more of a stew.
It's more of a stew, but you eat it in a bowl. So in my opinion, anything eaten in a bowl is soup.
That's why I do mong rips.
I'm not getting high. I'm eating soup. See, it's in a bowl. It's soup.
It's in a bowl. It's soup. I'm eating soup. Yeah, but you're high as fuck. Yeah, but it's soup.
It's vegan.
Yeah, but it's in a bowl.
It's vegan and earth friendly. It's a rabbit soup.
Yep. It's rabbit
It's a
soup.
vegan option.
Yeah.
Yesterday was my first day at work.
Back working.
Back working. It was great. We were working on a big cocksucker of a seed drill. 70-footer, and this guy comes in. He's coming to pick up some piece of equipment and bring it back to the dealership. And he comes in there and he goes, "Man, look at this thing. Man, it's just for the acreage, Jay." I said, "Yeah, it's just for putting the garden in.
Just for planting a few potatoes.
Yeah, a couple taters and some carrots. That's about it. That's all you need." It's a big cocksucker of a cultivating machine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, our grandma recently turned 91 years old. That would have been yesterday. No, Monday.
Monday
Turned 91 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just wow. That lady has seen a lot of shit. She's born in 1930.
That's right.
So was born right in the 30s, like the dirty 30s.
Yep.
Lived through that. All of her brothers went and fucking fought in World War II. Well, she was just like a little kid. By the time World War II was over, she was 15.
Yep.
Just about 15.
So she had to deal with the repercussions of her brothers with PTSD. Yep. So her brothers never came back. Right.
Well, what was the one brother, Uncle Willie? We talked about that before. How he was a cook and he got fucking kicked out because he gave. I don't know. He was probably so bad of a cook that
he got
they kicked him out.
Dishonorably discharged for being a shitty cook.
Yeah. Or something. I don't know if it was exactly that. I mean, I don't know what the story is. I mean, that guy's probably been gone probably since like the 60s, but
probably.
I'm guessing it probably had something to do with he wasn't. He probably like poisoned a whole platoon or something.
Yeah, but then,
which is just like what's his name, Frank Costanza, in Seinfeld, George's dad.
Yeah,
same thing happened to him in Korea.
And then one of her brothers, like great uncle, Amy.
He was a farmer,
but he fought in.
No, Amy didn't. Amy was a farmer.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Amy, he was exempt.
Okay, was there an Eli or no?
No, there was. I remember asking her all of this shit, like a couple months ago.
Because one of them fought. Well, one of them was on Dieppe.
No, not in Dieppe.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure. So there was the ones that fought. Well,
or is there one that went to Italy?
Okay, so there's four people from that family that went to fight in World War II.
Right.
The dad, who pretended like he was way younger than he was, and he just shone boots for the top brass in London,
right,
for the whole war. Willie, who got kicked out because he couldn't cook.
Yeah.
Octave, and Ovila. Yeah,
because was it either Octave or Ovila.
Well, they both fought in Italy, I believe.
Okay,
and then one of them went and landed in D-Day on Juno Beach.
It was Juno.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was Dieppe.
No, that was 1942.
Right.
And yeah, there wasn't. I don't know how many of those guys survived on Dieppe, but not a lot.
Right.
But no, it was Juno Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I
know Octave for sure fought in Italy. Because then afterwards, there's stories about how he couldn't drive through the Rocky Mountains or even through like the Okanagan or down by like
anytime we
and-
go west into the heavily treed areas and mountains.
Yeah, it reminded him of like Tuscany and in North Italy.
Yeah,
And he'd start having flashbacks and shit.
yeah.
So
he really liked his open prairies.
yeah, he liked it flat. I think he grew up in Saskatchewan, so
Yeah.
there you go. Maybe maybe he would have PTSD while he was there. Because here's this prairie boy seeing something taller than 3 inches for the first time in his life. Ah! Horrors beyond his imagination.
Yeah. Right. So was Amy the oldest then? Is that why
No, Willie was the oldest.
Willie was the oldest? But
Amy
was
was
a farmer. Oh,
Yeah, Amy was a farmer. Yeah. Which Amy that's short for Emile.
gotcha.
But they just called him Amy. These are all French names. So Willie was actually Guillaume. Octave and Ovila, I believe those are French or some sort of Latin base.
Yes, they're all Roberts, right?
Roberts, yeah. Roberts.
Roberts for us white boys.
Yeah. Saskatchewan Frenchies.
Roberts. Manitoba.
Well, no, she was born in Saint Lazare in Saskatchewan. That's where they grew up, and then moved to Manitoba. I don't know if she was pretty young when they did that or what. I gotta get that old timeline figured out.
Yeah.
It's an interesting story.
Yeah, that's in Manitoba is where she met Grandpa.
Yep.
They lived there till year before Uncle Paul. So, year after Uncle Paul, right? So 66.
No, Uncle Paul was born out here.
Was he?
Yeah,
Okay,
Uncle
then
Paul and Mom were born out here. So
so a year before Uncle Paul was born. So 65.
at 65 they moved.
Out here to Linden.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Yeah.
right.
Bunch of these white trash kids from Transcona,
Yeah.
Winnipeg. Trash Kona.
See,
Apparently that place is still a shithole.
that's what I hear. Yep. Lived in a little 2-story shithouse with no heat.
Fun.
Yep.
It's better than living in Transcona, though.
Yep.
Yeah. Winnipeg's an interesting town. Like, it has a very fascinating history. Just because for a long time, it was kind of like, maybe it still is, but it was the Chicago of Canada. You know what I mean? It was the Midwestern industry town.
Right.
There was all kinds of factories there in Winnipeg. Lots of factories. It was a huge town, too. Like, I think it's about the same size as now as it was in, like, 1920.
Oh, wow.
Which is, like 700,000 people or something like that.
Yeah.
So at the time, it was like, that was a big town. And there's so much immigration from Eastern Europe there. There was a lot of fear during, there was these strikes in 1918, I believe.
Right.
There were what they just call them the Winnipeg General Strikes. But there was like all kinds of riots and shit. People were toppling streetcars. There's all kinds of good pictures of that shit. And there was all kinds of fear around it. They're like, well, what's causing this? Well, there was a bunch of Bolsheviks out of like Ukraine and Russia and wherever else who came over here, immigrated into Canada, and started agitating the rest of the immigrant groups from those parts of the world into striking and into protesting and eventually rioting.
Interesting.
Yeah. I remember I took a class on that. The class was Canadian labor conflict and some shit like that, right? Basically, we were just studying different strikes and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The relationship between like capital and labor throughout Canadian history.
Yeah.
And we studied that one a bit. And the professor, who was like, I'm pretty sure he was a card-carrying fucking communist.
Yeah.
He was like, you would just present these things always in the light that these riots and everything was justified.
Yeah.
Which, it's not like they were getting paid a lot of money, these workers, but they fucking burnt Winnipeg to the ground. So I don't know if that exactly justifies the, getting paid $1 a day or whatever.
Yeah.
So he would always present things in that light, and it's like, oh, God. So then I found all these newspaper articles of people writing in at the time in like editorials about what was going on there, especially here in Calgary, because they tried there was like all these different protests that started in solidarity with the one in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And so someone in Calgary tried starting one up, and like 5 people showed up, and this is cowboy country out here. We don't understand your factory protest.
Yeah.
So
There probably just wasn't the industry here in Calgary.
no, not at that time. No, I think maybe Calgary had a population of 20,000 at that time, maybe less.
Man, that must have been one big fucking city. 750 back in 1918.
Yeah, it was a big city.
Wow. Like that would have rivaled some of the.
Well, Toronto would have been probably 1 million or maybe less at that time. It was a big city, man.
Wow. Well, geographically, like when you look at it, that's a big hub. Or it has the potential of being a big hub.
Mm-hmm.
Because from there you can head to the west. You can move shit to the south.
Yep. To the Dakotas, into Chicago.
Exactly. No, it's a good turning point.
Absolutely.
For a lot of goods.
Yeah, but so I found all these editorials of from Calgary and other places, and there's people just like, well, this is pretty obvious that this is just Bolshevik agitation going on here. Like there was like the leader of the one protest, his name is like literally Vladimir Ushenko or some shit. And he's like literally just quoting Lenin on the street.
That's not suspicious.
Yeah. I wonder what's really going on here. Of course, it's very fascinating because at the exact same time, the Russian Civil War is going on. So, makes you wonder.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Well.
Could
wrap it up. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Well, I'll quick do a Today in History. I've been doing lots of history this podcast, but we'll quick do this one, and then we'll
crank it up.
Then we'll call her good.
What is today? Today is the 24th of November.
You bet. So in 1542, on the 24th of November, the English defeat the Scots at the Battle of Solway Moss in England.
Is that what the Braveheart movie is based on?
No, that was earlier.
Oh, okay.
No. In 1859, Charles Darwin publishes The Origin of Species by the Means of Natural Selection, also called The Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life.
Right.
The first printing of 1,200 copies sells out in a single day.
Wow.
In 1874, Joseph Glidden receives his patent for barbed wire. Now, it was a while ago, maybe a month ago or something.
Yeah, we talked
about how he applied for his patent.
Right.
So it only took him a month, and he got his actual patent.
Interesting.
Yeah. In 1927, federal officials battle 1,200 inmates after prisoners in Folsom Prison revolt. Folsom Prison Blues.
There we go. Crank that shit up.
Bam, 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 boom. Doing your mom. We know we stray, we doing your mom. I did your mom in Reno just to watch you cry. I'll be doing your mom all day and all night. There's a video of this. I nearly shit myself when I watched it. In 1939, in Czechoslovakia, the Gestapo execute 120 students who were accused of anti-Nazi plotting.
Ooh.
In 1949, the Iron and Steel Act nationalizes the steel industry in Britain. It would remain nationalized until Margaret Thatcher in the 80s. In 1950, UN troops begin an assault into the rest of North Korea, hoping to end the Korean War by Christmas. Boy, are they in for a treat.
Wrong.
Wrongo. In 1963, Jack Ruby fatally shoots the accused assassin of President Kennedy, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh, shit.
In the garage of the Dallas Police Department.
Right. God damn it, Jack.
And in 1977...
I want answers. Sorry.
You'll never get them. In 1977, Greece announces the discovery of the tomb of King Philip II, father of Alexander the Great.
Cool.
Yeah. There you go. A little history lesson for you folks. Hopefully everyone has a good Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday? Oh, I thought you said Wednesday.
Oh, I thought you meant Weast. All right. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, take care.